What's up, y'all? It's Coach Frisco. We seen this trade happen last night between the Knicks and the Timberwolves. Timberwolves sending Karl-Anthony Towns to New York in exchange for Julius Randle Donte DiVincenzo and I believe a pick. In the first round, protected first round pick from Detroit. I think Shams, I believe, was the first one to report this last night. And it was crazy because I was in the middle of recording the video, giving my preseason predictions, my top 8 teams in each conference. And I got the alert that this trade happened and it messed my list up. So I'm going to have to re-record the video. But it is what it is. As far as the trade is concerned, I mean, I think the trade works for both teams. The Knicks needed a center. Still have Mitchell Robinson, but he's hurt more times than he's healthy. I think Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson together, I think that's a more formidable pairing. I wasn't too sure how Randle getting back healthy, getting back into the groove with Jalen Brunson doing his thing now, how that was going to pan out. So maybe Randle needed a fresh new start somewhere else. And I seen where, let's see, is it on here? Maybe it's not on here. No. Karl-Anthony Towns, that was okay. So he said that Cat did not request this trade. So Cat didn't want to move. And we seen a lot of chemistry between Cat and Ant-Man throughout the playoffs last season. It would have been interesting to see them coming back again together this season with Ant going to the Olympics, getting the experience, playing with all those vets, winning the gold. He was going to come back, I think, more hungry, and knowing that it is solidified that is his team and Cat is basically second in command. But I mean, it's interesting to see how that dynamic is going to play out between Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle, because we know that Randle can be a little pushy, maybe slightly bit diva-ish. But just to know that, okay, I'm coming into this situation with this young buck, and this is his squad. Let me just be a complimentary piece. And you add shooting with Donte DiVincenzo. I think that's the major key. Donte is the major key in this trade because he's a lights-out shooter. He can be a lights-out shooter, and that's something that Minnesota needed, especially in the series against Dallas, where they was just keying in on Ant-Man. He couldn't really get going, and I don't know why they kept playing to kill Alexander Walker. I mean, he's a great defender, but I don't think he made a single 3-point shot in that entire series. So I think the trade is going to work out for both teams. You put Cat on that New York team with Mikal Bridges, with OG Anunoby, still have Josh Hart. And I know they was making a big thing about the Nova Knicks, and I seen on Twitter or X or whatever this morning that apparently Donte wasn't too keen on the Nova Knicks. He wasn't as excited as the other three were, which is crazy because I think Jalen Brunson took less money and Mikal Bridges was saying he was going to take less money to try to make everything work out. And they ended up trading Donte anyways because I guess he didn't really want to be there. But you bring in Cat, the money that, and you know what though, the key thing about that is, or maybe even hindsight, maybe Jalen, since he's the man, maybe Jalen know that okay, they're gonna make a trade. We're gonna make a trade to get somebody in here a bigger name. I think Cat is making like $50 million or something like that this season. Maybe that's why Jalen took the less money, not necessarily to bring the Nova Knicks together. It's because he knew that, hey, they're going to bring in Cat. We're going to have to clear up some cap space. So I'm going to take less money. Let's get Donte out the way. Let's get Julius out the way. I'm not trying to deal with that. You bring in a softer personality. Cat can shoot the 3. He can space the floor. He's not your typical 5. I mean, he's more of a 4 because he doesn't necessarily like to bang or anything. He's a 7-foot guard. So you bring in Cat, you put Cat in that starting lineup. Even if you put him at the 4 and you start Mitchell Robinson with Jalen Brunson and OG and Mikal Bridges, that's a formidable starting lineup. So I don't know why people say that, both teams lost this trade. I think this is going to work out better for both teams in the long run in deciding, depending on what Minnesota decides to do with Julius Randle moving forward. I think his contract is going to expire, if not after this season, maybe after next, so they can come off of his. But I don't know. We're going to see if this works out best for both teams. I think this is going to work out well for both teams. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you think about this trade in the comments. Who won the trade? Both teams won. Both teams lost. This makes both teams better, in my opinion. It gives both teams something that they lacked last season moving forward. So, but we'll see.